We are ready for battle. Let me tell you, we're going to need the tinfoil today. Amy Schumer has been a problematic figure for quite some time. She's been making the rounds in the media lately to promote her new tour as well as her new show, Life and Beth. The name of her comedy tour, on the other hand, I can't even say without having the bots breathe down my neck. And this is the point I want to hammer home. Is the title itself a defense against criticism in the search results? Not only that, but titles like these draw a certain type of criticism that's very easy to deflect, which ultimately makes it easier to dismiss all criticism. More on that later. In the meantime, let's take a look at some of her media hijinks. This is her on Seth Meyers.
I mean, not a big deal, just that we're losing all of our rights.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
I want to clarify that I'm not taking issue with Amy Schumer's politics per se, I'm just taking issue with the way she presents her politics. The introduction is a bit clunky, but it's nothing out of the ordinary. However, in her first bit, she starts joking about how she's smug that she hasn't caught, that one particular virus that's going around.
You are one of the people this has not gotten.
I know.
Now, I don't mind morbid jokes, but the timing of this is terrible. I just don't understand how you can be so absolutely flippant about one medical issue and then try to shove your ideology down people's throats with another within the same breath, essentially.
I don't know. I'm a little smug about it.
Yeah.
I haven't had it yet.
Well, congratulations.
So. Hey, we really need everybody to be standing up right now.
She then goes on to talk about how devastating those old Disney movies were.
They're real problematic. I was really excited to show Peter Pan, not too far in, an Indian man in a headdress, like, oh, and I'm like, okay, no, this is not good.
Okay, think about this. Really think about this. A mother with a 3-year-old child who can probably barely speak is watching a Disney movie. When an Indian man pops on the screen, her mother decides to abruptly stop the film. Now, I don't know much about parenting, but I know a thing or two about the dog whisperer. If a parent dog and child dog are together and the child dog gets injured, it is in the best interest of the parent to remain as calm as possible to provide a good example. An overreaction to a minor wound can cause trauma. Now, here is a child who doesn't understand anything about social constructs or racism, who can barely speak, sees what is probably the very first representation of a Native American they ever had in their entire life. Their mother nervously and abruptly turns off the television. Now, I'm no children's psychologist, but with the lack of knowledge of history, I find it far more likely for a child to walk away with the thought they should be afraid of Native Americans rather than that was an offensive depiction of Native Americans that may have been inaccurate. We gotta have them watching the new Lion King. We gotta have them watching the new, they can't watch the old Lion King. We gotta have them watching the new Lion King. We gotta have them watching the new Lion King. Normally, I would gloss over something like this, but given Amy Schumer's superiority complex, this is something she should have thought of. Perhaps instead of sheltering your child from the arts, you should have waited for a more appropriate time to explain these more complicated issues to them. There's a reason why kids like to ask why, and to those who think I'm being overly critical of a mother, you're totally right. The only area in life where we need a deficit of scrutiny is parenting. Not to mention, she considers herself a cool mom in another segment.
Do you consider yourself a cool parent?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure not letting your kids watch Disney movies is an immediate disqualifier for cool mom. The next segment is from Vanity Fair, and I only want to touch on it a little bit. When she's being asked about joke theft, she says that she doesn't take any inspiration from anyone to write her material.
Have you ever taken inspiration for a joke from somebody else?
No.
To be a comedian and a creator in the current era and claim you don't have any inspirations is insanity. To just say you've never had influences, that you don't write things with influence, that just really, like, I don't know what to say. I don't even, how does that happen? I previously wrote off Amy Schumer's joke theft as coincidence, but this is a red flag to me. I know she's taking a polygraph test, but there's a reason why they can't use this kind of stuff as evidence in a court of law. Polygraphs were invented about 100 years ago, and to be honest, our knowledge of consciousness has not improved all that much since then, let alone the complicated mode of dishonesty. A much more clear-cut example of Amy's deception is on Jimmy Fallon.
What?
I've been eating vegetables with every meal and lipo. But
Yeah.
what about my endometrium? No, we're sorry. We're
Yeah,
sorry.
we'll
No.
figure that.
To be honest, it's in most of her material.
Everybody's got to do better.
You are one of the people this has not gotten.
I know. Everybody's got to do better.
On one hand, she stoops so low that criticizing her would feel like an attack, and on the other hand, I've never seen a horse with longer legs. She does this illusory balancing act so she can take the low road while staying in her ivory tower. She also fishes for compliments from her 3-year-old son. Now, that's not really a big deal, but it also has no business being a punchline on Jimmy Fallon. The juxtaposition of these parenting bits with the name of her comedy tour coming up is frightening. What's also bone-chilling is she didn't realize she botched her son's name so mercilessly until like a month later.
I named my son Genital Fisher
When did you realize the error?
about a month after he was born.
As one of the most famous, perhaps infamous, and paid comedy writers, this error is egregious. I don't think you should be allowed to singe your team after Netflix for millions of dollars if you can't even get the name of your own son right. Plus $11 million plus a multi-million-dollar bonus leveraged from sexism is what Amy Schumer got from doing the Leather special. This is why so many people laugh at the concept of a gender wage gap. Amy Schumer releases one of the most widely hated comedy specials of all time and for all the wrong reasons, and almost gets paid as much as Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle. Imagine getting paid tens of millions of dollars to set the standard of comedy back by about 5 decades, just to say, I deserve more. Amy Schumer, you are currently holding back the feminist movement for your own profit and personal gain. Elitism like this is exactly why we still have issues with prejudice. Speaking of detriments to society, here's Amy on Ellen.
But we've been doing a lot of role playing.
Wait, hold on. We have to take a break.
Because you'll like this. This is big.
Okay. That
Wait,
will
this
be-
might be good to take us into the break, actually.
I gotta admit, being pushed around like that, I bet Ellen hated that, and I think that's pretty cool. But it's also a good example of Amy's inherent need for control. The rest of this appearance is so mind-numbing that it's not really worth talking about. Well, except maybe that bit towards the end where somebody in the audience sneezed and Amy said this.
I guess somebody's allergic to talent.
Allergic to talent. Wow, we're really going back to the kindergarten digs, eh? To end, I would like to focus on Amy's last words on Seth Meyers. Everyone's gotta do better.
Everybody's got to do better.
She's been rehashing the same material for years, exploits her own irresponsibilities and flaws to get a paycheck, actively holds back social discourse in the name of profit and media control, has never been able to take any kind of criticism seriously, shoehorns fluff pieces about her motherhood when she's trying to promote a tour that is named, you know, makes a farce of her own stances and beliefs due to a lack of self-awareness, and tickets to this incompetence start at $75. I think everyone needs to get better is a convenient way of her to say, I don't need to get better, you guys do. Because according to her routine and the statements she's made about the show she's trying to peddle, indicate that she's got a lot more improving to do than we do. I have a feeling that her upcoming comedy tour is going to put this all on display quite clearly. Shout out to the best subscriber squad on all of YouTube. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. I know my upload frequency has gone down a little bit, but trust me, I am working hard on these videos. Since I saw an unusual amount of growth, thank you guys so much. I thought it would be good to take a little bit to think about workflow and my current projects. And it seems to have paid off because I've got some exciting stuff on the way. I hope you stick around to enjoy. Thank you.
And I'm talking about organized crime. This administration right here. You have nothing to worry about. We've done a good investigation. There's nothing here on you. But I would seriously have you reconsider your relationship with the Orange Unified School District because that is another matter altogether.